So yeah, Jonna, I mean, what do you think about those questions? I mean, that's the end of our questions, you know what I'm saying? And it's, I mean, you can't just bottle Jonna in 10 questions. You know, she's a widespread of, you know, of things that Jonna is about. So just, I enjoy these questions. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed that, you know, your answers. Here they were as how, you know, upfront they were, you know what I'm saying? Giving audience and giving our viewers, you know, something to look forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I loved the questions. And I, you know, like you were saying earlier that, you know, you're not ashamed of what you've lived through and what you've gone through and your upbringing and things like that, your background. I'm not ashamed of anything that I went through, and I've gone through a lot. And I know through this podcast, people are going to be learning even more. I'm not ashamed of it. I wouldn't be who I am today without it. And I want to answer questions. So if you guys have questions, please ask them. I will, you know, put your questions in the comments. I will answer them personally. And if it's a really good question, I'll bring it up on the show with Dawson, and we'll talk about it right here on the podcast.
Totally.
Yeah. Like,
I'm so glad that you're an open book. And so, and I think that because you're an open book, and because I'm also an open book, that I want people to either learn from my mistakes. I want people to follow the, you know, at least listen and follow the things that I've encountered, and I've read, that I've listened to, I've studied. I'm saying these are all the things that you're about to hear on the show are things that I either experienced myself, that I deep down the rabbit hole, we want to call it, you know, go deep down the rabbit hole, and I've done hours and years of grinding out, you know, saying about some of the knowledge I obtained, right? Mm-hmm. Some of the things we're going to talk about is spirituality, religion, you know, worldly views. I'm saying so many things we're about to talk about that I've experienced it, I've studied. You know what I'm saying? I become a scholar on these things that I'm saying it's not, you don't, it might be not the same questions, like the same answers you have. It's the best part about this show. You engage with us and talk about these things. We'll answer those things. We'll engage with you and talk to you, you know, answer these questions together. You know what I'm saying? I'll bring you on the show and say, hey, what is your thought about this? Why do you disagree with this? Or why did you accept this? You know what I'm saying? Why did you also agree, you know what I'm saying, didn't agree with it? Then this ain't gonna be a normal podcast. You know what I'm saying? No. It's not gonna be a normal, you know, talk show either. This is something I don't think I've seen out here yet. I'm saying, like, I've heard so many people get on there, a duet, and they just talk about sex and this and that, and it, like, we could both get on here and talk about that stuff, you know what I'm saying, and be disrespectful to our loved ones, saying my wife, your significant other. I'm saying, like, that's not the type of energy I want to say on this show, because I don't want to try to feed your ego, feed your, you know what I'm saying, your fantasies and stuff like that. I'm not into that. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, like, and this is a, you know, I want this to be a family show. Something that your kids can get on here. Minus, you know, yeah, we do have foul languages sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited.
We're trying not to.
Well, I'm definitely trying not to do that, but it's at the same time, like, it does come out because I'm so aggressively speaking with my truth, and I mean, it just, the way I can explain it is the way it just comes out my mouth. So, but I do want, you know, be able to reach the kids as well, you know what I'm saying, the teenagers. Saying, we will have other people come on the show as well, you know what I'm saying, KK. You know, we will have Michaela back on the show again. She will be joining us, joining me on the show as well with Dawson and Ashley. But yeah, and you'll see Jonna, you know, back on Dawson and Ashley as well. Bro, this is the thing, that reason why I split this up, and I want to give as another input about why we started Banter Bros, is because there's some things that a lot of people don't like talking about. And I know me that there's something we won't talk about. We won't limit ourselves not to be, you know, not talk about certain issues and certain patients have issues about them. And that's what I really wanted started this podcast, Talk with Dawson show, was based off, having 100% real conversations. Having those hard conversations about relationships and spirituality, religion, and we get down into flat Earth and global Earth. We can get into it all because I've studied all of it. I'm saying, and it's like I have some things I want to talk about as the audience and as Jonna about. That what is your take on this? So I think it's a perfect timing, everything, right? Because it's been perfect timing meeting you because Jonna, like, I'm gonna get to know you truly on this show.
Yeah,
I think that's the most beautiful part of it, right?
Absolutely. And I not only am excited to talk about different topics, both hard and easy and silly and serious, but I also am excited to talk about, life experiences that we both went through and, different ones, not the same ones, or similar ones, how it affected us, because there's people out there that experience something in life or are living through something in life right now that don't think that maybe other people have been through it or had a similarity or things like that, or they don't want to talk about it. But this is one of those spaces that we are creating, that we want people to listen, to interact, to, share. I mean, come on, share it. The more people that see it, awesome. But also, instead of thinking of it as we're trying to get a whole bunch of subscribers, which we are, let's just keep that straight. But it's more that we're trying to connect with as many people as possible, because we're all humans, and just because we don't live in the same place or don't think the same thing, that doesn't mean we can't connect. And connect with us. We're on all platforms. We're on all social media. There's different branches of the Talking with Dawson show, and there's so many different avenues and ways to connect with just Dawson, with me and Dawson, with Dawson and Ashley, with Dawson and Kayla. I mean, there's so many different ways to connect with us. Why not? Why not? Yeah.
It's funny to me. Oh, truly, people don't understand connect. Hey, and you guys about to speak hour of hour one. Oh, one.
Yes.
Acted all together. And this universe is also in
absolutely
surprising, kind of fluke, crazy. I'm trying to break Jonna from saying a lot of crazy. It's destined, right? It's destined that we meet each other, that we met each other, because that's what connection is all about. That is also that mystery of not knowing why.
Yes.
Right? That mystery of not knowing why. How did this person come to every moment?
Mm-hmm.
You guys about to find out in these episodes of like why people connect.
And why does the question why is it more acceptable for kids to ask that question but not for adults? I want those childish questions. I want them all.
I want if I can't ask why, right? I don't deserve.
That's right.
I don't deserve any answer. I don't deserve any opinions. Saying like, gotta be from me. I need you to answer my why.
Mm-hmm. And what would society be like in all different forms of, technology, inventions, things like that? What would it be like if no one in the past asked why?
And it's like, I mean, like as life comes to an end, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have that option.
No.
Saying you don't have that option. This path, this journey, right? Because once you leave and your mind is wiped out, start back out with that.
Yep.
Why am I here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When that time runs out, the spaceship or the spacesuit that we're wearing is, expiring. You know what I'm saying? I want to know why everything happened. You know what I'm saying? Because by the time I get to that point when I know that I'm taking my last breath, I want to be content. Happy.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I made.
Yes.
Back on this jet.
Nope.
Your story, this journey. Keep saying journey because it's ain't the end of us. Death is not the end. Death is the beginning of new.
Yes.
So I wish I can, one day when we leave this journey, this rim, that we can find these archives of these videos one day and say, man, who are those people? Why would they feel that these guys are so interesting, right? Like, and knowing that was us, right? Because remember I asked you that before, Jonna said, wouldn't it be weird, like you read a book, but you get so interested in it, you just get your blanket, get you some coffee or some tea, smoke up with this blanket, you're like, why am I so connected to this book?
Mm-hmm.
One of the books that you wrote. Why is have an interest in certain things like books, movies, how to connect? Like me with movies, like I love the Renaissance days. You know what I'm saying? With the nights, I get excited about that. Braveheart, I watched Braveheart so many times, right? And it's like I connect with that. Now I'm so convinced that I was a Viking. And then guess what? I went back and did my DNA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 37% Welsh. Yes, 37% Welsh. Crazy.
That's suits.
And I thought before I knew this, I was so geeked up about Vikings and saying shows like that. I was like, man, why? And I believe that in my life that maybe you wrote that book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Were the person they're portraying in that movie? Maybe that was you.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
That's why you connect. I found myself. I'm not ashamed to say this, guys. I saw some of you guys are gonna keep this from yourself and keep this from your significant others, and you have to keep this from the internet. But I'm gonna be one of the first to tell you, man. And sometimes I said, then I wept on movies. I'm talking about snot, no cry, ugly cry, right? So like, and
the cry.
Why am I so attached to this, right? Why? Because this person's a good writer or good, a director. I feel a certain beautiful connection to that. That's why, like, man, this is my life they talking about.
And I'm like, yeah.
Again, we'll get into that in our conversation, but man, Jonna, seriously, it's wilding, right? It's wilding that, people don't ask enough one.
All right.
And I'm telling you this, Jonna said this early, but I'm going to just remind you this. Do not stop your kids. Angry with them. Irritated with them when so why?
Mm-mm.
They want to know. They're sponges. They want to know. They want to know what's going on in this world. And another thing, please do not repeat the same lies that your family people in this program that you had back onto your kids, right? Don't do that. Tell them what you have learned. Some of the new stories that you wrote. Some of the new programming that you wrote. Don't get caught up in statistics of like saying, oh, my mom told me they were Santa Claus, so I'm going to tell my kids those. No, stop that. Stop feeding your kids these lies about things that, eventually grow up and they're like, there ain't no goddamn Santa Claus. Like, why you oh, because it's exciting. It's just so good, them to ask. No, I'm Santa Claus. I bought you them damn gifts. I slaved over that job to get you what you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give this to them. This big white man with in a beard with a fat stomach. This is the guy to get you this stuff. No, bro, I'm Santa, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong when you do, that you choose to do that to your kid. But I'm telling you, it's not good. It's not wrong. It's not gonna hurt them now, but you don't know how it affect them later on.
Exactly. And I want everyone to just take a second, think about your childhood and think about things that made you unhappy, that you didn't like. Even now thinking, oh, I grew up and I had to do chores every Sunday. That was the day of the week to do the chores. I hated that So how did I change that for my kids? I made a couple chores per day, every day of the week. You know, something from your childhood you didn't like, change it, because it won't change if you keep doing the same thing.
Exactly. It's called generation curse for a reason.
Yes.
And then you get into therapy like, oh, I got to break these generation curses and stuff like that. Well, your kids shouldn't have to experience what your generation curses you went through if you just tell them the truth about life.
Mm-hmm.
The things they're not going to learn in school, because school is definitely a program.
Yeah.
Right? Because why is it that I'm 54 years old and my stepson last year was learning the same things I learned back when I was in high school? How is that even possible? And we're evolving, constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Like history. Oh, wow. We won't get into shows like that, but and so we'll just bring us to a closing. That's a wrap. We'll get into the one and only Jonna, from her wild stories to her real talk. I think we can all agree is bringing the perfect mix of energy, honesty, chaos, Banter Bros. You never know what's going to come out of her mouth next. Oh my God, I can't wait. That's exactly why we love her. Thanks for kicking it with us today. Make sure you follow, like, and tune in next time. We keep the laugh rolling. Banter. This is Dawson and Jonna, Banter Bros. Peace, love, and hair grease. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and follow.
Yeah.
Share the energy.
It is.
Thank you, Jonna.
See you next time.
Next time.